think it was about 5 years ago, there was a group of friends at the local church, Watnall Road Baptist Church, who got a variety of concerns about housing issues. Some knew of people within the fellowship who got a poor experience of private rented accommodation. Others had got a heart for homeless people, and still others for refugees. And it was seeing if there was a way that we, as a small local church, could help in this way. And funnily enough, it came up in a dream that we could encourage anyone with even the smallest amount of spare money that they could invest in such a project, try and see whether we could raise enough within the church locally to buy housing to be a good private landlord to people in the town. We spoke with Green Pastures to see whether that was a road that we could go down. It certainly is an opportunity to partner with a larger organisation to deliver locally, but we felt that we wanted to try and to manage that more closely ourselves. So we just put out a flyer within the church to see whether people would be interested in investing as little as £100, so anything from £100 upwards, and for a duration of between 1 and 5 years. And we quickly raised sufficient to be able to buy our first house. And we were in conversation with the local housing authority, Ashford District Council, about where they have the greatest problem finding suitable accommodation for families or individuals. And they said it's 3-bedroom accommodation was the big shortfall in the market for them. But they also made us aware that they were looking for suitable accommodation for the first Syrian families to come into the area as part of their pledge to contribute towards the government's target of supporting Syrian families. And so that seemed to work together well, and so we bought our first 3-bed property, specifically with the aim of housing a Syrian family, and we were able to get that all together, and it was furnished through Tuntum Housing Association, who have the contract for supporting local Syrian families, and they accessed the furniture from a furniture project in Booton in the north of the county. And so that was in, trying to think now, that was in, I think, November 2017, and our first family came. And since then, we've housed a second Syrian family, that was in 2019, and we got sufficient funds to look for a third property when the pandemic broke and a halt was put on rehousing Syrian refugees. But in conversation with the council, we said, because we've got another 3-bed property, are there any families that you're supporting at the moment who would be interested in this? And they got several, and so we were able to house a family who were struggling to find good private rented accommodation. So we've been able to support 3 families so far. There's a total of 38 people who've invested in Hucknall Housing Limited with loans of £440,000. And I think the thing that's surprising to me and to many others is how a relatively small group of Christians coming together can make a significant impact on on people's lives for the good. And so we just aim to be a good tenant for families who otherwise may struggle to find suitable, good quality rented accommodation.